There's always some type of Drake and Josh marathon going on. Ever since this show ended back in 2007, Nickelodeon has been playing it nonstop, okay? One thing I wish Dan Snyder would understand is that he can make a good show without being heavily offensive.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 stupidest people.
Here's to another video that gives another reason to why Nickelodeon, or just the Viacom in general, will never want to hire me. Ooh, y'all can see that. Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna. I'm back with another video. If you're new here, hello, my name is Harriyanna, and welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate. Now, for those of you who are regulars, the pirate ship looks different today. Yes, I am in the process of, redecorating my bedroom, and my desk in front of me that I usually film in, and that corner that I used to film in, is loaded up with stuff right now. So I am filming in the couch part of my loft bed. I literally took down this loft part because I can't do it no more. I can't do it all right. I'm sleeping on the mattress right here on the floor. It's just been a hot freaking mess, okay? This is not gonna be my usual setup. Hopefully, my parents are forcing me to let them help me with my room. I said I want to do it myself, but they said if you do it yourself, your room is going to look like this for a year. So hopefully, within 2 weeks, my room will be back to normal. Well, because of that, I'm just not really going to spend too much time on camera. I'm probably going to film a few videos right now before. But if you're new here, hello, my name is Harriyanna, and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces, okay? We got the handy dandy laptop, okay? You guys see all that cool stuff I got on my laptop screen? Yeah, I'm that girl, okay? So I got my outline sitting right in front of me, and let's go ahead and dig into it, okay? That sounded so nasty. Anyway, so it was either film outside or film right here, okay? It just started raining outside, and it is dark outside, and I'm literally right by the window, so I had to wait until it was dark outside to start filming. So I'm cranky. Does that give me a better light? I don't know. This is a mess. This new setup is a mess. But hey y'all, I'm Harriyanna, and if I film downstairs, everybody gonna hear me cuss, and my parents are gonna be mad at me talking about you cussing on the internet. Yes, I am. I'm grown. I can do that. But anyway, if you're new here, hello, my name is Harriyanna, and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. If this is your first time seeing me, I'm sorry, okay? But we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Many of y'all send me questions over and over. By the way, you don't know the usual structure of my videos. I usually go off of an outline that I have in front of my face for purposes of, know what I'm talking about. And I have a touchscreen laptop too, so you see me touching it, that's why. Y'all send me like the same questions over and over again, and a lot of them be about Drake and Josh, and they're usually, have you seen Drake and Josh? I don't like the way this light makes me look, okay? They're either, have you seen Drake and Josh, or you should watch Drake and Josh. And do y'all not understand how old I am? I'm pretty sure somebody that has watched iCarly and Victorious, pretty much anything that is a Dan Snyder property, I've probably seen Drake and Josh. Like, just, y'all, context clues, please. But like I said, I'm pretty sure anybody that grew up watching iCarly, Victorious, Nickelodeon in the late 2000s has seen Drake and Josh. And two, I literally talked about Drake and Josh in my most popular video, the video that a lot of y'all found me from, called It's Time to Talk About the Racism in Dan Snyder Shows. Yeah, go watch that if you haven't. It's literally one of my most viewed videos. It's not my best video, but yeah. Anyway, for those of you who don't know what Drake and Josh is, I'm gonna get there in a minute, but I have to do something real quick. I'm sorry. This is my channel, and I can do this because I want to. The Progeny's red carpet comes out this Friday, and on Friday, the Progeny's merch goes on sale, okay? We have these cute little handmade buttons by me. I made these buttons myself for the Progeny's. Ain't that super cute? Cute little handmade button. And also, my nails are from Moo Girl. How cute. I will have the link to the nails down below too, but Focus, not on me. Focus on that. Anyway, so we have custom made buttons, and then we also have this super duper cute purple lip gloss. I had it on in the red carpet, so you guys want to know what it looks like on me, it will be in there. They go on sale August 6th. This video is probably going up August 4th. I will have a code across the screen for you guys that want 25% off. Please look at that. And yeah, let's go ahead and get back into the outline. For those of you who don't know what Drake and Josh is, because a lot of y'all watch my videos and y'all don't know what I be talking about, and that baffles me. I think this is stuff that everyone knows. But Drake and Josh basically is Nickelodeon's way of doing Kenan and Kel again, but in a white version, okay? I like to call Drake and Josh the white. This video is a disaster. I like to call Drake and Josh the white version of Kenan and Kel because it literally is like the same premise, okay? It literally is the same premise. It literally is a copy and paste of each other, but not to be exact. The similarities are there. Basically, two friends, they get into trouble and they have to figure out how to get out of the mess in the end. It's literally the same plot device, okay? So Drake and Josh is a Nickelodeon sitcom that ran between 2004 to 2006 with a movie special in 2008. And if it feels as if this show ran longer than you thought it did, it's because one, that movie came out a whole year after the show ended, and two, Nickelodeon stayed running freaking reruns of the show. There's always some type of Drake and Josh marathon going on. Ever since this show ended back in 2007, Nickelodeon has been playing it nonstop, okay? Like, that's why it feels like it went on longer than it was supposed to did. And then they also play the same episodes over and over again, which is weird because they only have like 60 episodes. There's really not that many episodes of this show. When I went back to rewatch it, I genuinely surprised at how less of material I had to go through. So like I said, this show, everyone has seen it. They stay running reruns of it since it came into the show's existence, because I remember when Drake and Josh first came out and they only had like 12 episodes, Nickelodeon stayed playing themselves 12 episodes, okay? Okay. It literally was like the SpongeBob of the live action shows, okay? Always on, all the time. So the show is created by Dandy Footman. If you don't know who Dandy Footman is, his name is Dan Snyder, and we don't like him over here. We do not like him over here. He's really weird. He's a weirdo, okay? We don't like him over here. So Drake and Josh is about two stepbrothers. One named Drake, who is the lazy popular kid in school. He is the musician and he's also a ladies man. And then we had Josh, who was the hardworking nerd with a big heart, and he was an overall nice guy, okay? That literally is just the show's premise. That's literally what it is. Nice little cute little slice of life show. Just about two stepbrothers with completely different personalities. Stop wobbling. Okay, I know y'all see my laptop trying to fall, but it's literally about two stepbrothers with two completely different personalities growing up together with their brotherhood and friendship. But by the way, the show takes place in high school, so yeah. Sounds like a really cute show, right? Sounds really cute, sounds really adorable. Well, baby, you got a big storm ahead of you. So, let's just go ahead and start off with this. Josh was set up to be Drake's Duff, okay? Josh was set up to be Drake's Duff, and if you don't know what a Duff is an acronym for the designated ugly fat friend, okay? Duffs are not necessarily ugly or fat all of the time, but the reason they are called Duffs is because, like I said, designated is the key word in there. Use your context clues. They are significantly, quote, less attractive than their friends or their counterparts, okay? That's why they are called the designated ugly fat friend. They're not necessarily fat or ugly, but compared to their friends, they're not that cute compared to them, quote. Okay, I'm not saying they are cuter than them, but yeah. You get where I'm coming from? You get where I'm coming from? Don't nobody try to come over here and call me that I'm saying that I'm calling people ugly and fat, because I'm not, okay? That literally is the literal definition. Don't try to come for me, okay? And we see this trope all the time in children's television and just television in general, but it's really, really big in children's television with the entire Duff trope. So it also happens a lot in in real life. I put RL, but in real life at my school, so many it reminded me because at my high school, the Duff stuff happens in real life. Like, people literally be friends with other people because they know that they'll get more of the attention from girls or boys and their friend won't get it all, okay? Or people would literally just hang out with people based off of their looks. High school was a really, really weird time, and sometimes I still feel this way too. I still feel like I'm the Duff of my friend group. Like, my friend group that's like in the entertainment industry, because like when I'm out with my friends in general, everybody and their mama be trying to talk to them, everybody and daddy be trying to talk to my friends, and just not me. So yeah, it's part of the reason why I barely leave the house, because it ruins my confidence. Anyway, so the movie The Duff explains this really, really well.
It's actually not my job to give you intel on my best friends.
It kinda is though, as their Duff.
Sorry, as their what?
Duff. D-U-F-F. Designated ugly fat friend.
What did you just say to me?
Every group of friends has one, you know, the one who doesn't look as good, thus making their friends look better, the one who's easy to talk to because no one's trying to get with them. You friended up. Good talk. I'm pretty.
If you guys are interested in watching The Duff, I really do highly recommend it. If you can find it somewhere, please watch it. It's a great movie. It's actually one of the better high school movies that have come out in like the last decade, I say. So that leads us to our point, fat phobia, okay? Now, why did this show act like Josh wasn't cute? Why did this show like to point out that Josh was not cute? Because he was big, that's why. I hate this stigma in like Hollywood, where they feel like just because you're not a size 1, 2, or 0 that you're not cute, okay? Like, just because Josh was plus size did not mean he wasn't as cute as Drake, okay? I love the movie Fat Girls just because of that. I'm like, she was fine, okay? Anyway, so Josh was the one that was made out to be unattractive, and they'd always make slick comments and slick jokes about Josh's weight, and it was very just distasteful, okay? And his appearance had a lot to do with the why people were a lot crueler to him than Drake, which sucks because Drake was not a good person at all. Drake was a horrible freaking human being, okay? He was a despicable human being, okay? And Josh still saw the good in Drake, even though Drake was freaking terrible to him, and it's really irritating. Like, this show literally gave Josh all the characteristics that we see in the media associated with being uncool, okay? Like, he was a nerd, he got good grades, he was nice, and his appearance had a lot to do with it, okay? Like, I was always team Josh. I was always team Josh from the beginning. I have a soft spot for like nerdy boys, okay? Y'all don't tell nobody that Harriyanna likes nerds. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody that, okay? But anyway, anyway. Like, I was always team Josh in real life and on the show. If you know, you know. Drake Bell is a freaking disgusting human being, okay? Every time I say despicable human being, I'm gonna put that Rapunzel clip in here of her saying despicable human being, okay?
Despicable human being.
So Drake sucks in real life and in this show, and it's just so frustrating watching everyone push around Josh, including his own brother, okay? So that is just the fat phobia aspect of this show. It literally is this show. This show, Drake and Josh, is nothing without the fat phobia. Anyway, let's move on to the next problem with Drake and Josh, and it is the misogyny. It has misogynoir in here too, but we're just gonna focus on the misogyny right now, okay? Now, the main antagonist of the show is Megan, who is Drake's biological little sister and Josh's step sister, okay? She is Drake and Josh's little sister, which no, is not really a problem at all in my opinion, but like, shows always have like that mischievous younger sibling type trope. That right there didn't really bother me. Megan didn't really bother me. That's not really an issue until you realize this, okay? Most of the time, if the antagonist isn't Drake, because Drake was a really big antagonist in the show, because literally everything that went wrong was Drake's fault, okay? Drake literally ruined Josh's life. He literally put Josh through so much mess. I don't understand why Josh wasn't still done with him after that episode where he said he was done with him and he realized Drake was nothing without him. Anyway, I'm getting off track because that just pissed me off. Drake is a horrible human being.
Despicable human being.
But like I said, if the main antagonist wasn't Drake or Megan, 90% of the time it was a woman. Interesting. Or if the antagonist wasn't a woman, the problem was caused by a woman. Yeah. So, I went on to look up who worked behind the scenes of the show because, you know, the writer's room, the behind the scenes reflects a lot of what we see on camera. And what do you freaking know? All the episodes were directed by white men. Not just men, white men, okay? Literally no color in that writer's room, director's room. All those episodes was written by men. All the episodes were directed by men, okay? All of them white men to be exact. So not only is it just no people of color, it's just white men. It's just white people, and it's only men, okay? Like, you see a lot of times if you go in the writer's room, you'll see women's names in there. Nope. Not one. No. They probably worked on the side, but they weren't like the main writers for the episodes, okay? So it's not that surprising when you find out that is the reason why this show is the way it is, okay? That literally explains it itself. I don't have much to say about that. And it's also really weird because they like to throw little cheating jokes in there all the time. Like, that's just something weird I've noticed when it comes to Dan Snyder's work. Because the mom would always make like comments and slide comments about how she's more attracted to like the other weatherman where her husband is a weatherman. It's really weird, slick stuff that always be up in these Dan Snyder shows when it comes to misogyny. But
the pussycat, long tails and ears perhaps, guitars and sharps and flaps, need sweet a groovy song, you're invited, come along. Hurry, hurry, see all the pressure on Mavis pants, we could be in.
Anyway, we're moving on to our next point, which is ableism. Now, I'm gonna be real with y'all. This section isn't gonna be long or like more put together. I wouldn't say that, simply because I'm just not the best educated on this subject, but it is a problem and it does need to be addressed, okay? But keep in mind, I am not the most educated on things when it comes to mental illness, aside from like stuff like depression and anxiety. I'm really just educated on PMDD and OCD because those are the two things I really suffer from. So, moving on, Crazy Steve. This is the big elephant in the room when it comes to Drake and Josh. Crazy Steve was a character. I'll take you that. I'll carry you that. Basically, Crazy Steve, who was played by Jerry Trainer. Many of you guys are familiar with Jerry Trainer because he plays Miranda Cosgrove's older brother in iCarly. By the way, Miranda Cosgrove plays Megan on the show. Anyway, we're gonna bring this back up, so yeah, keep that in mind. Crazy Steve was Josh's co-worker at the premiere. That is where Josh worked, okay? And literally, he was crazy. That's all that it was to him in the writer's room every day. I bet you that they just sat down and would think, what is the meanest way we can make disabled people look? And then they just jot it down and then be like, okay, that's Crazy Steve's arc for the episode. Like, it's just so distasteful. It just really don't sit well with me. Like, that's all that was to him. All he did was sit and scream at his co-workers, and he screamed at the customers, and he scared off the customers. Like, you can portray a mentally ill person in your show without making fun of them the whole time. I just really didn't like that. Jerry Trainer did a great job at playing Crazy Steve. He did his job. He did what he was told. But it's just really just distasteful. Like, I understand that it is important to have representation of mental illness and things like that and mental disorders, but this is just not the way to go about it, okay? And there's this really big fan theory that bothers me so much. Like, it's bothered me since I found out about it when I was younger, when I was really into like creepypasta and stuff like that. There is this fan theory that Crazy Steve kidnapped Megan and moved to Seattle with her, and they started going by Carly and Spencer. That is just so distasteful. Like, I just can't stand it. It's just distasteful as hell. So moving on, we're still stuck on ableism because it's not just Crazy Steve, it's also Mindy too. And you know who Mindy is? Mindy is basically the mean girl of the show who later becomes Josh's girlfriend. So after she caused a problem at the school, she was sent to a mental hospital to get better. And then when she came back, she was a completely different person somewhat. Like, it was kind of weird. It didn't feel like the same Mindy Crenshaw. And I don't think the team behind this show was educated enough when it comes to people with mental disorders and mental illness. It really shows that they don't really know that much. They kind of just saw what was popular in Hollywood. They didn't really do their research. And it just really comes off as distasteful, okay? They're just not educated enough to put this in their series, and they should have just left it out, okay? There's nothing wrong with not being educated enough on something. It is okay to admit that, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and say this. This is a bit off topic, but I remember when I made my Girl Meets World video, and people were going off on me in the comment section because I didn't want to talk about the communism episode because I simply just don't understand communism. My teachers in high school did a really, really bad job of explaining it to me, okay? That is something that I know I need to do more research on, and I'm not going to sit here and speak highly of it thinking that I know what it is when I really don't, okay? That's just what it gives with Drake and Josh, okay? They weren't educated enough when it comes to people with mental disorders, and it just came off really, really bad. It was just a really, really poor decision that they made for this show. So last but not least, racism. Y'all know this was coming up, okay? There's literally always some type of racism in Dan Snyder shows, okay? I knew diversity in this show was bad, but revisiting it, the diversity seemed a tad bit worse than I remember, okay? I always knew Drake and Josh had really bad diversity because when I watched it, I barely saw any people of color except for Helen. But it's worse. Like, I noticed a lot of stuff, okay? So we are going to bring up Helen first before we get to everything else. Helen is just walking misogynoir, okay? Dan the Footman is just notorious for the way he portrays black women in his shows. Helen was the manager at the premiere. She was basically Josh's boss. She was in charge of him. And Drake briefly worked there too, and she like showed a lot of favoritism to Drake and not Josh, which pisses me off because Drake ain't shit, okay? I will go ahead and say that, okay? Josh was always the superior one, but because he wasn't attractive like Drake was, Helen was a lot meaner to Josh, okay? And the premiere was like the main hangout for like the show. Like every show like has like their main hangout spot. The premiere was that spot for Drake and Josh. So that is why Helen was there all the time. Like she was just mean. Like she was mean as hell, okay? Like she would get angry at Josh for no damn reason. Like it was so freaking frustrating how Helen would get mad at Josh for nothing. Like literally it would be a customer's fault and she would get angry at Josh, or equally another co-worker's fault and she'll get mad at Josh. And I remember that episode where Drake worked at the premiere and he kept messing up. She kept getting mad at Josh. Like it's just very distasteful. I didn't like Helen for the most part. I love the woman that plays her. I think she's a really talented woman. Yvette Nicole Brown, she's great. But Helen, I just can't stand her. She was always screaming about something, and anytime she acted out, this is, like I said, I thought the racism was bad until I went back and looked at it and paid attention to everything else. Anytime Helen would act out, they would have white people looking at her like she was crazy. That feels like a microaggression. That's a microaggression, Mr. Dan the Footman, okay? And she also had a bit of a weird crush on Drake. Yeah. This is the black representation that we get on Drake and Josh, y'all. Now y'all know why we complain. Because representation matters. This is the only way I saw myself on Drake and Josh. That's not good, okay? So black characters just came and went throughout this series. And often when they did show up, they weren't nice. They weren't nice. I remember the only time I really saw a black person be nice on Drake and Josh was that little Sammy kid that Josh was like in a partner program, like a big brother, little brother partner thing, whatever that was. They did that same thing on That's So Raven, okay? And Asian characters came and went too, but they weren't really all that memorable. Like they just kind of like threw them in there just to say the scene isn't all white. They didn't really do much of anything except for that one girl that did work at the premiere with Josh and Crazy Steve. I really, really did like her. She was great. But Helen, who was there from the beginning to end, this is pretty much the only representation black people, specifically black women, had in Drake and Josh. And it was not good. It was not good. And y'all want to know something weird? Something really, really weird. Y'all know how white people like to say all black people look the same? Do y'all remember that one episode where I remember Skylar Samuels was in the episode? I know a lot of actors' names, so if I'm calling people by their names, that's why. Skylar Samuels, you guys probably know about her if you've seen Scream Queens by Ryan Murphy. She had a little show on ABC Family called 9 Lives of Chloe Clean. She played Gigi on Wizards of Waverly Place. That girl. Do y'all see that's not Yvette Nicole Brown? That is Roxy from Hannah Montana. Why do y'all get this stigma that all black people look the same? They literally look nothing alike. They just had the same hairstyle and the same skin tone. They don't look alike. Why didn't y'all just write Roxy out of, not Roxy, because that was Roxy from Hannah Montana. Why didn't y'all just write Helen out of that episode?
I starred in the television program Happy Times.
Oh my God! You were the little girl who always said, "That is not my job."
Yes, I was. And most recently, I was a senior manager at the Premier Movie Theater in San Diego.
Warm cashews, cold shrimp, oh, and complimentary slippers. Time to let the dogs out.
Great. Glad you're enjoying the flight.
Like, we know this badly. Like, we noticed it, Nickelodeon. We noticed it. Like, what was the point? Y'all not slick. Y'all are not slick, okay? And, like, here we go when it comes to more racism and this representation. Drake had a type. Did anybody else notice that, like, literally almost all of Drake's love interests, because y'all know he was a ladies' man, so he always had love interests throughout the episodes. They never really stuck around for long. But any of y'all notice that all of them girls was white? Like, all of those girls was white. And I don't recall that the only love interest that he had was a woman of color, was Vanessa Hudgens. And this is what Vanessa Hudgens looks like. You guys may know her from the High School Musical trilogy, and she was also in Sucker Punch, which is one of my guilty pleasure films.
What's it like working with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith?
It's so epic. They're just the sweetest guys ever. I remember my first week, I came into my trailer and there was a massive bouquet of flowers. And I didn't have a card or anything. And I was like, was that from you? And he's like, it's me and Martin. I was like, you guys are so sweet.
Vanessa Hudgens is light skinned. To a certain extent, she could be tiny white passing, okay? But I know I'm a person of color. I know what other woman I see one, okay? Now, I think Vanessa Hudgens is gorgeous, okay? Why the only girlfriend that he had that was a person of color, why she had the least amount of screen time? Why? Why, Nick? Why? And yeah, it's that bad. The diversity in this show is beyond garbage, okay? It is that bad, okay? I don't understand how Drake was able to pull all them women, by the way, because like I said, he was a despicable human being.
Despicable human being.
In conclusion, Drake and Josh is dated as hell. It's extremely dated. Very, very dated. Y'all want to talk about something being a product of its time? Drake and Josh, product of its time, okay? I remember when I said in the past, I don't remember which video it is, y'all know I make new videos all the time, that 2000s TV is not as progressive as we think it is. This show is a walking example of that it is not, because so much of it does not age well, okay? So much of it does not age well. Do I think some episodes are bad? Yes, but you get that with everything, okay? You get that with every... I feel like y'all can't see my face, I'm sorry. I feel like you get that with, like, every show. There's always going to be a bad episode of something, okay? Do I think it's a bad show overall? No, it's actually one of Nickelodeon's strongest when it comes to sitcoms. Like I said, that is the reason why Nickelodeon always plays reruns of it. But here's something. This is something that I just want Dan Snyder and his team to understand, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but if you watch the credits on all of Dan Snyder's shows, you will see that he has the same group of people working with him on everything. One thing I wish Dan Snyder will understand is that he can make a good show without being heavily offensive. You can make a great show without being heavily offensive. And this is why I personally think Ned's Declassified is the superior Nickelodeon sitcom. I think Ned's Declassified is the best Nickelodeon sitcom of all time, okay? Simply because it had a great story and it was funny without making fun of people, okay? Sure, like, it did have problems with, like, fatphobia and, like, some issues with misogyny, but it is nothing compared to, like, the bullshit we see up in Dan Snyder's shows. That's all the issues that I found within Ned's Declassified. It aged pretty well. But compared to, like, iCarly, Victorious, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, and Henry Danger, Danger Force is pretty good, but Dan Snyder barely worked on his show. I don't really count that as his property. But, like, Ned's Declassified proved that you don't really have to be mean to be funny. Like, you don't have to be mean to make something great. You don't have to be poking at people to make a great series specifically for children. Like, that's one thing that really get on my damn nerves, is that a lot of these kids shows depend on just picking on people to try to get a little easy giggle. It's very disturbing. It's really, really disturbing. Like I said, Drake and Josh is a good show for the time period that it came out in, okay? But if we were, like, if it came out today, y'all would not be bad in the eye of this show. Y'all would not, okay? If Drake and Josh came out today, nobody would watch it. It would be getting dragged all the time, okay? The main reason y'all like Drake and Josh so much is because of nostalgia, okay? Like, part of the reason why people think Drake and Josh is so freaking great is because they grew up with it. like they grew up with it. That's the reason why a lot of y'all think so much of the mess y'all watch is great, because y'all grew up with it. And a lot of it is beyond garbage, okay? So like doing this revisit to the show, I realized that like even though Drake and Josh is a show that I've always watched reruns of because Nickelodeon never stops playing reruns of them, but when I actually sat down to do it for like work purposes, I realized that it is not that great. It's honestly not that great because so much of it is just very mean-spirited, and that just don't sit well with me. I'm just kind of over I'm just over it. I'm just over Dan Snyder at this point. Yeah. Am I telling you that you can't watch Drake and Josh no more? No. I'm not. Like, at all. If you like Drake and Josh and it made you really happy, do as you please. Continue to watch the reruns and whatever. Just keep in mind that if this show came out today, it would not fly. Like, it's very dated. It is very, very dated. It is a product of its time. And thank you guys for watching this video. That concludes my Drake and Josh analysis. This was actually really long overdue. It's just like, I kind of took a break from talking about like Dan Snyder properties for a minute because there's just been like so much junk going on with the people with that, and I didn't want it to come across as if I'm just doing this for views or whatnot, because there are certain YouTube channels that I watch that do like are like drama channels and tea channels and things like that, and I don't go there, okay? That's just kind of like not my cup of tea. And I didn't want people to assume that I was like trying to copy them or whatnot. But I was like, no. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I didn't want people thinking that I'm just hopping on the Dan Snyder bandwagon. But I've always been here. I've been one of the main people talking about Dan Snyder properties to begin with. But if you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to find other ways to support me, I have a Patreon. I have a web show, by the way. My web show is called The Progenies. It is the Descendants fan series. Red Carpet comes out this Friday, and then our first 2 episodes come out next week. I am super duper excited, and I cannot wait for you guys to see. I'm trying to hurry up because the 30 minutes about to run out. Follow me on everything, Harriyanna, Harriyanna. I have a Patreon. I have my store, harriyannahook.com. Love you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good night. Okay, it's still running.
Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA. The Powerpuff Girls are just here to